Could TECNO's Camon 30 Pro be the best mid-range smartphone right now? Well, there's a lot of interesting things TECNO has added on here. First off, I like how they just give you wireless earbuds in the pack. Like, many phones will ship with maybe just the phone and the charger, but TECNO is like, nah, this box isn't big enough. Let's make it bigger and let's give you free earbuds. This is supposed to be a mid-range phone in the Camon lineup, but is it affordable? Without further ado, let's jump right in. So what comes in the box? You'll find a phone box and an earbuds box. Inside the phone box is the phone itself, along with a small compartment containing the wipes for your screen protector, the warranty card, the screen protector, and a phone case. Additionally, you'll find the power adapter, SIM ejector tool, and USB Type-C cable. Now moving on to the earbuds box, you'll find a note indicating that these earbuds are not sold separately. Yes, they come with the phone when you buy it. Inside the box, you'll find the earbuds, the manual, and 2 pairs of extra ear tips. You do get these wireless buds because, of course, this phone doesn't come with a headphone jack, but more on the build quality later. The front of the phone has a minimalist look. It features a punch-hole selfie camera, decent sized bezels, and the standard tiny speaker. The back is simple and also elegant. I have the ballistic dark version, but there's also a snowy silver option. While the silver variant has a more pronounced ocean-like reflection, both colors have their own distinct charm. Although less noticeable, the black model that we have here has this wave pattern that makes it look distinct as well, and you can see it very well when you're up close. However, when you get to the corners of the phone, it starts to look more like glass. Now, situated at the very top is the classic zoom ring layout for the camera section. And this, it houses the cameras and it almost feels like you can screw it. You don't have to bother trying because it won't screw or it won't turn. I kind of wish it did, but I don't think it will have any use anyway. So yeah, to be meaningless. So right beside this ring is an LED light and what appears to be a red dot. This is what TECNO is calling the breathing light, and it fits the aesthetic of this phone very well. It's kind of what you see in like a cinema camera or like a camera that is professional DSLR camera. This blinks when you're recording, when you engage the voice assistant, or when you do remote control stuff. And yes, your device can actually function like a remote control, which we'll talk more about that in a bit. Unlike the back of the phone, the sides have a glossy finish that easily reveals fingerprints. The volume and the power button are located on the right side of the phone, and at the bottom of the phone is where you find the SIM slot, a microphone port, the charger, and a speaker grill. And as I mentioned, there is no room for a headphone jack on here. But I don't think that should be a problem given that they provided you with wireless earbuds. So the wireless earbuds are nice. However, I didn't particularly reach out to use this more as I had other earbuds that sounded better. And even TECNO makes these true one buds and you can use third-party ones. At the top of the phone, you have another speaker grill, a Dolby Atmos inscription beside it, an IR blaster that you can use to control your AC and maybe like 7,000 plus appliances, and a microphone. There's nothing on the left side of the phone. The phone case blends perfectly with the phone when you wear it. It's plastic and it feels like it could break easily if you're not careful with it. Another downside is that it completely covers the original design of the phone, but it has a unique texture to it that almost resembles the feeling of a basketball. Either way, both designs have their merits. Despite the attractive design, I think the build quality of this phone could still be better. As consumers, we definitely want the very best at an affordable price. This phone is light and it looks good. It looks very well done. But I think that something else could have made this like pop. Something like adding a Corning Gorilla Glass Victus to the screen, for instance. However, TECNO does include a tempered glass screen protector to help protect against scratches and falls. So if you drop this phone with the case, you should be fine. Maybe there will be like some damage to the case, but not on your phone. And if you have the screen protector, you should be safe. So that's why they added it in the box. And I think if you get this phone, you should definitely apply the screen protector and use the case. Additionally, the phone lacks an IP rating, so while it may not be a problem, it's best to be careful around deep water. Despite the lack of an official IP rating, the phone has a feature where when your finger is wet, it would still work well. They call it wet finger touch operation. And if it is raining or if your hands are just like damp, you actually can still use your phone like normal. This suggests that the phone has some level of water resistance, although not as strong as devices with a higher official IP rating anyway. One of the most noticeable features of this phone is how tall it is. It's 6.78 inches tall compared to its predecessor, which is 6.67 inches tall. And if you've got smaller hands, it might be a challenge to reach all the corners of this display. However, one advantage of having a large screen is the immersiveness. When you're watching movies or playing games, you'll be able to see everything. And this phone has, relatively slim bezels and a good screen to body ratio. The AMOLED panel delivers vibrant colors as well. You have a 1080p by 2436 pixel resolution that offers a good image quality. And to be honest, I was kind of stunned at the refresh rate of this device. It's a 144Hz refresh rate, and that is something you may not find on most of the devices in the mid-range category. Unlike other phones that, are capped at a 120Hz refresh rate, many big phones even, TECNO is like, oh, let's take this up a notch. Let's give these people 144 Hz. Good visual experience. Although it was a bit difficult for me to notice the difference between 120 Hz and 144 Hz. I think I should also mention that the higher the refresh rate, the higher impact it will have on your battery life. And you have the option to switch to 120 Hz from 144 Hz anyway, or to 60 Hz if you really care about your battery life. Now to the part I've been waiting to talk about, the camera. TECNO has, excellent phones that come out with camera qualities that might feel like more could be done to them. However, for this phone, it seems like they've addressed a lot of problems. So TECNO partnered with Sony to have this high quality sensor on the back here, the IMX890 sensor, 50 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, and I think it's impressive. So with this Sony sensor, you have something a little close to, those cameras. You can shoot between 1 to 10x and you won't lose out on the image quality. It seems as if the pictures we took also avoided a lot of heavy processing, and it just gave good representation for the images captured. There's another camera on the back too, another 50 megapixel wide lens, and that can go between 0.6x to 1x, and there's a third 2 megapixel depth sensor that actually works. When you take a picture, TECNO gives you some copy or written text at the bottom detailing some information about the captured images. As you can see in these examples, you get the lens, the aperture, the shutter speed, and the ISO. If you're into photography, you know what all these things mean. They're basically the settings that it took the picture in. And for some people, it might just be nice to have. Anyway, you can turn this off in the settings if you don't want it. Okay, let me just say that the photos and videos on this guy are officially, I don't say, are they the best photos you can get on a TECNO smartphone right now? Because this is the latest, of course, so it probably should be the best you can get, right? Right? This is a portrait I took of Miss Techie, and here's another one in portrait mode. I haven't seen results like this in many series of TECNO phones, and this is an improvement. So let's quickly take a selfie together and let's just see what this looks like. Although, yeah, this is good lighting, so that's a bit of a cheat code. I thought the selfie quality was good in good lighting, of course, and it's a 50 megapixel selfie camera too. It has the whole eye tracking thing, and you can also see that it's evident also in video, in front-facing video, and this is what that looks like. This front-facing camera can also take 4K 60 frames per second video, which is what you're watching now. I think it's cool, but let me know what you think about the video quality and the sound quality in the comments. Part of the reasons I'm saying the images here are better too is because of night mode. The night shots are also noteworthy actually. Thanks to the Sony sensor, I tried taking this complex light fixture and I could see some of the elements in the image. And that was really nice to see, despite being dark. And it doesn't matter whether you're zoomed in, the quality isn't lost. Something else that is worthy of note on here is the AIGC portrait, the AI feature when you want to take pictures. You can choose one of these 5 settings when you point the camera at yourself or when you point the camera at the face of the person you want to make an AI portrait out of. And you will snap it will take 4 different pictures and it will generate a few images, a few AI images for what the person would supposedly look like if they were a character of some sort. This is an AI image of me from what TECNO generated. Let me know what you think. Do they look like me? I can't decide whether this is a feature or a gimmick. If it is useful for some people, I think it will be useful for some people who see themselves in that sort of fantasy world, but I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. The sound quality of the Camon 30 Pro could have been much better because there's like Dolby Atmos on this. So in the Dolby Atmos settings, they give you different options. They give you different scenarios to optimize the audio experience. You have intelligent, movies, games, and music. The choice of scenario depends on what you're doing, of course. So I find that when you want to watch a video, it is best to set it to movies rather than intelligent, which will do it based on content recognition. So it's best to set it for the specific content you want to watch it for. I feel like it sounded better that way. You've got Android 14 on here with TECNO's custom iOS 14 UI. I mainly noticed a little bit more roundness in TECNO's UI here, and I think they're paying more attention to this in terms of software updates. However, I think that they could still be doing better though. In terms of software updates though, I'll keep my head down for any news and I'll add them to the pinned comment and the description of this video. So if you're coming here again, just make sure you check those places. TECNO is also bringing AI closer and closer to their users, and one way this is happening is when you're browsing or whether you have a body of text, a large block of text, you can basically highlight that body of text and click on Ask AI, and it will either summarize the content or write a better version of it for you. So this device features the Mediatek Dimensity 8200 Ultimate 5G chipset, and I think it delivers very well on performance. You don't have to judge only from the benchmarks though. It does meet a lot of expectations in terms of gaming, in terms of, you know, playing interesting titles here. You will definitely enjoy it. While the back of the phone did slightly warm up a bit, it didn't impact the overall gaming experience. As you've already seen, this device lacks a memory card slot, but it comes built in with a 256GB or 512GB storage, and I think that should suffice. Unless you intend to capture a lot of video footage, so you probably will go for the higher storage version. And also, just in case 12GB of RAM is not enough for you, you can add an additional 12GB from your storage with the memory fusion thing that it has going on. But yeah, it's just basically 12 gigs of RAM with another 12GB storage that you take from your actual phone storage. Similar to other mid-range phones, this one is equipped with a 5000 mAh battery and it should last you nearly the entire day. However, when it comes to intense usage though, you should expect like several hours of use, and regardless of your usage pattern, this battery is designed to be very reliable. And even if the battery ends up dying, you do have a 70-watt charger that comes in the box. This device takes approximately 53 minutes to go from 0 to 100%. And I think that's a reasonable time considering that the battery lasts much longer than that. Of course, this is a 5G phone that is currently being sold for around 538,000 Naira or $400. Do you think this is worth the price after all you've seen, you know, from the camera and the gaming and the specs and everything in between, the design, everything? Do you think it is worth 538,000 Naira? Let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you leave a like, make sure you hit that subscribe button. See you guys in the very next one.